Good evening guys, welcome to Casita's virtual kitchen. I hope we're keeping well. Tonight I'm going to do two really quick dishes for you. We've had lots of requests on these, so we are working our way through them. Tonight we're going to do a chorizo popcorn and also our halloumi popcorn. Really dead simple. I've got most of it ready for you here. I'm just going to talk through everything with you. So we've got halloumi here. You can buy halloumi obviously from everywhere. It's so in vogue, so popular at the minute. Very popular. It's originally from Cyprus. It's quite hard cheese, perfect for grilling or perfect for breadcrumbing and deep frying, which we're going to do today. And then the soft cooking chorizo over here. We're just going to do the same with that. We're going to dice that up and we're going to also pane that. So paneing, it's not really a technical term. Basically, it just means to breadcrumbs. So we've got our flour here, just plain flour. This is a couple of large eggs that's just beaten with a little bit of water just to loosen it up. And I've got two types of breadcrumbs. So our halloumi popcorn is going to go in a mixture of some breadcrumb and some crispy onion. So the crispy onions you can buy from the supermarket, they're just over here. We've just blended them up a little bit with the breadcrumb. You just want to make it a little bit finer. This is panko breadcrumb, so it's a little bit chunkier, gives a real nice crisp texture. But so it sticks to the popcorn, we just blend it a little bit. And then the one next to it, this is for the chorizo. So this is basically the same panko breadcrumb that's just lightly blended, so you get a bit of powder and a bit of chunk. And then it's got some black onion seeds in. Again, we can get these from the supermarket. Just a few for a bit of texture and a bit of taste, a bit of colour. So that's the ingredients. We prepare the halloumi here. So halloumi's quite a strange cheese. It's always basically got a cut down the middle. So we're going to go with the cut there. I'm just going to open it up. And then depending on what size you like, we usually go into roughly 4 pieces. And then we go into almost sort of 4 again. So you get a nice sort of nice mouthful size piece. And then we're going to do the same on this side. And then the chorizo we're going to dice up probably very similar size, if not a little bit smaller. So it's quite important when you're panning, just try and keep your hands as clean as possible. They do get messy, you are going to flour and egg. But try to keep them as clean as possible. Definitely need a mid-station hand wash for this one. So this chorizo needs peeling. So all we're going to do is we're going to quickly slice it, lightly slice it, with the other sausages as well. If it wasn't to peel it, when you sort of breadcrumb it and you deep fry it, it does kind of shrivel up and go a little bit weird. So just roll them out. The same with these ones. This is quite spicy chorizo, so it's got a really nice sort of smoky spice to it. So it works really well with this. And then with these, we're just going to dice these up as well. So we're going to go into half. This is quite soft, so you do need a sharp knife, and you do want to sort of use the whole knife as opposed to sort of pressing down and squashing. So we're just going to quickly dice all this up. So we've had quite a few requests for this. It is probably one of our more popular dishes. We only ever used to have the chorizo popcorn on, and then one day we decided to breadcrumb halloumi and it's eclipsed it. I mean, we sell probably 5 to 1 in the favour of the halloumi. And it was discovered basically one day, just messing around really. We decided to see what was in the kitchen, what we could breadcrumb, and these were the sort of 2 best things, and it's kind of stuck with us the whole time. So we might not do all this, but I've chopped it all anyway. So we'll do the halloumi first. So into the flour. If you try and keep one hand that's dry, so basically i.e. it doesn't go into the egg, just so you're not going to get really messy. So I'm just going to move this around in the flour, and then I'm going to shake off the excess flour and into the egg. So we're shaking off the excess flour. It does get a little bit messy, but it's part of the fun. You can obviously pane anything, so it's really good for, you know, homemade chicken goujons or fish goujons for the kids. You can do chicken Kiev, anything like that. It's really good. Or if you like your classic garlic mushrooms, then obviously this is a good way of doing it as well. So, and as far as the breadcrumb goes, you can put anything in there. If you wanted to put some mixed herbs in there, you can do. If you wanted to make it a bit more spicy, put some spice in there. So I'm going to keep this left hand clean. So obviously that's going to help me. So I'm not going to get too much of a mess. You want to squeeze off the excess egg, and this is the halloumi, so we're going to go into this one and give it a good shake. So give it a good shake, and then we're just going to get a hand in, our other hand that's clean, and we're going to mix all the dry stuff up there. And then once we've got it into our tub here, so it's dead simple up to now. You want to make sure you've got a nice sort of coating on it. If you do blend the breadcrumbs up a little bit, it does stick to it a little bit better. The bigger crumbs don't quite stick to it as well as the fine ones do. So I'm just going to do these last few bits. It does work better as a two-man job, so if you've got somebody at home to help you with this, it does sort of work much better. If you're getting a bit short on the crumb, always have a little bit spare so we can add some more. It doesn't matter that it's not fully blended up, but this will just basically stop it all sticking. Going to give it a good shake, and then we're going to transfer that. So this we usually use in the restaurant around sort of 2/3 of a block per portion. So a full block will give you a nice sort of big portion of the popcorn. So we're just going to do this last few bits of the halloumi, and then obviously it's the same with the chorizo. So if you wasn't to squeeze off this egg and you just kind of scoop it all in, and you get big clumps of egg in your breadcrumb, and then it just starts to get really messy. If you're doing a bigger amount, obviously you use a slightly bigger tub. These are quite small tubs just for the purpose of this. So I'm just going to give my hands a quick wash. That's basically the halloumi one done. Now we're going to move on to the chorizo one. So we'll just give our board a little wipe here. Like I say, it does get a bit messy, but it is worth it, and it's just one of them. So same process, different crumb in with the chorizo. We probably won't do all this for the purpose, but obviously, so I'm going to mix that up as well. Shake it off, and then into the egg. And then down the front also, to accompany this, we serve this in the restaurant. So I've got two dips. I've got a harissa aioli, which is the real deep dark orange colour, and that's obviously for the halloumi popcorn. Now that's dead simple. That's basically mayonnaise, which has been let down with a little bit of water, and it's also got the harissa, spicy harissa paste through it, which is something you can make if you're really adventurous, or you can get from the supermarket. So that's basically that. And then in the next one, that's your garlic aioli. So it's basically, for the purpose of the video, we've got some mayonnaise with a crushed garlic clove in there, a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of salt, and that's it. It's quite punchy. I've gone quite generous with the garlic, but obviously with the chorizo being quite a sort of spicy, smoky chorizo, it does lend itself well to it. So there's your chorizo, same as the halloumi. Now I've had my pan of hot oil heating up here. You don't need a deep fat fryer for this, but if you are doing it in a pan, then obviously just be quite careful with it. It's always good to test it so the oil's hot, so you can just get a few breadcrumbs. I'll just show you here. So you get a few breadcrumbs in there. You can see it starting to sizzle there. Obviously, if it's to go sort of dark really quickly, the oil's probably a bit too hot. So I'm just going to finish these last few bits of chorizo, and then we're going to deep fry it. So yeah, a big pan like this with a little bit of oil, you just shallow fry it. It's more healthy for you. Obviously, it's not completely sort of submerged there, and you can do it at home. So you can either use this or like a almost deep wok would work really well. So last few bits of chorizo here. Good idea to move the breadcrumb as you're doing it, so you can kind of make those spaces in there. I'm just going to get the last few bits covered. I'm going to wash my hands, I'm going to clean down, and then we're going to deep fry this. So if you've diced the halloumi up small enough, which we have, you shouldn't need to So yeah, if we've diced the halloumi up small enough, which we have, it should just be able to be in the fryer and then it's done. It won't need to go in the oven or anything like that. If you've cut it a bit bigger, which is absolutely fine again, then you can just probably need to maybe finish it in the oven for just 30 seconds. Halloumi itself, if it's not cooked or if it's not warmed through properly, it is a bit tough. So it is always good to. Right. See, breadcrumbs get absolutely everywhere. Don't worry about that. Right. So I'm just gonna knock this up a little bit. This is on around 140 on my stove here. We're just gonna test one first. We'll do the halloumi first. We're gonna put one in, and we can see it's sort of starting to. It is starting to bubble there. We're probably gonna go up the temperature just a little bit more, and then we're gonna go in with a few more. Like you say, you don't want it instantly to start colouring because obviously it's just gonna burn on the outside. And you're not going to get the soft sort of colour or the soft texture inside that you want. So I'm just being really careful dropping these in. Nice, don't drop them from a height. Try and get your fingers as close as you can without dipping them in. Really careful. If you had, some people do have like veg baskets or pasta baskets at home, then obviously they're really good for this. You can drop them down in there and then that's just like your basket on a fryer. So they're in. I've just got a metal spoon here. Obviously, we don't really want to put plastic in there. So I've got a metal slotted spoon and I'm just going to slowly move them about and I'm just going to keep an eye on them. Probably going to take around 90 seconds to sort of 2 minutes just to sort of get the colour we want and obviously be nice and soft inside. So it's just about keeping an eye on it. Slowly getting there. I'm just going to tweak it up a little bit higher there, but that's fine. We've got a nice bubble on it. It's starting to colour up now. So I just lift a little bit out. You can see it is starting to colour there, which is kind of what we want, but we want a bit more colour on it. So there will be little parts of the halloumi where the sort of breadcrumb hasn't stuck to that. That's absolutely fine as long as the bulk of it is done. You know, some of the breadcrumbs will fall off slightly. And if you do breadcrumb it, then and you can do this in advance, you can breadcrumb it and leave it in the fridge for sort of, you know, half an hour just to let it all stick to it a little bit more. We've breadcrumbed it and we deep fried it straight away, so you will lose a little bit more. This can easily be done a day before, and if you're having it planned for dinner the next day. So you can see now it's really sort of starting to colour up. It's really sort of fresh, clean oil, so obviously it's not going to go really dark really quickly because the oil is fresh and clean. So you can have a little feel. The outside is nice and crispy. The inside probably still needs another sort of 20 to 30 seconds. So we're just going to give that another sort of 30 seconds there. And then gently scoop out. I've got a plate already prepared here and a bit of paper on there to soak up any oil that's going to come off. And then I'm going to get my chorizo in while we're waiting for that. So there's no real secret to this dish that everybody loves. It's very simple. It effectively is halloumi cut into pieces and deep fried. But there's something special about it. It's love or hate halloumi. Once you've dunked it into the harissa, the spicy aioli that we made there, it's just great. It's great finger food, party food, great appetizer. I don't really know anybody that doesn't like it, to be fair. So yeah, have a look at that now. The colour's great. I'm probably just going to give it another 10 seconds or so, and then we're going to scoop it all out. Like I say, there's parts where the crumbs come off, which is fine, but the bulk of it is crumbed up nicely. So when we take this out onto the kitchen paper, while it is still slightly wet from the oil, we're just going to season it. The reason we do that is so the salt sticks to it. If the halloumi dries out, then all the salt falls off and there's not much point. So we are going to season it while it's still wet from the oil. Halloumi is quite salty anyway, so it doesn't need loads. Right, I'm going to scoop these out now. They look lovely. So onto the plate, drain off any oil you've got. Nice and easy. You don't want to. Last thing you want is for the oil for the halloumi to drop off the spoon, hit the oil and come up and splash you. So you do just be really careful with this. See the kitchen paper, this is soaking up any oil that is on there. You get the last few out. And then I'm going to get the chorizo in straight away, just so we're cracking on with it. I'm going to season this up, a bit of salt over the top, okay? And then we're going in with the chorizo. This will probably be quicker. The oil's a bit hotter now as well. So just be careful with this, like I say, quite low down, drop it in. Or what you could do is you can actually put it, I'll show you another trick, you can actually put it on the spoon and lower it in with a spoon. Okay, so if you're a bit worried about splashing your fingers up, on the spoon and then gently down into there. Okay, last couple. It is ideal with this holy spoon, we call it, because obviously it won't hold the oil, but if you don't have that, you could do it with a normal chef's spoon. So while that's deep frying, I'm just going to leave that, and I'm going to plate up this halloumi. So just onto the plate here. If you got any little napkins, if you're serving it up for some friends when we can have the friends around again, little napkin on the bottom, a few cocktail sticks to sort of pick it up with, to make it a little bit more fancy. But basically, that is your halloumi popcorn. It's dead simple, nothing hard about this, guys. And then there's your harissa aioli, which is going to go with that. And then my chorizo, which is colouring up probably much quicker. It's already starting to colour, you can see there. So this one probably won't take as long. We're going to keep our paper on there. We're going to give this another sort of 30 seconds. The chorizo tends to sort of colour up a bit quicker. As long as we've got it crispy on the outside. The chorizo itself is cured, so it does need cooking really, but obviously it doesn't need the heat that sort of the halloumi gets otherwise, because obviously that's quite hard in the middle. So not much wrong with this now. It's almost turned the oil a sort of deep kind of smoky red colour, which is quite funny, quite nice. But yeah, we're nearly there now. Just a few more seconds. Keep moving it around. Obviously, if you do have a fryer with a basket, you can shake it, which is the same effect. Basically, we just don't want it to stick together, and we don't want it to sort of stick to the bottom. So that's kind of why we're just moving the oil a little bit, just to keep it going. So, like I say today, what I've done, there's absolutely no reason this can't be done at home. You know, it's done safely. We'll let the oil cool down when we've finished, so it's completely cold. You can strain it off. Probably use it again 2 or 3 times for the similar sort of stuff. I mean, if you're not too fussy, you're not vegetarian, this could be mixed with a little bit of olive oil. You could make your Spanish tortilla with this oil, same amount of olive oil as to this. Gently poach your potatoes and your onions, and you've got a smoky kind of paprika-y chorizo taste tortilla. So, happy with that. We're going to take them out now, exactly the same as the halloumi. So you can see they're a lovely golden colour again. They're nice and crisp. The crumb, because we've blended it, it is quite thin. You can see the chorizo through the crumb, which I really like. You don't want to. Last thing you want is when you get something that's deep fried, is basically a crumb on the outside that's thicker than the actual thing inside. I mean, it's a classic mistake with crispy garlic mushrooms where, you know, it's just all breadcrumb, and then you're searching for your mushroom. It's a real thin layer of the crumb outside. So we're just going to turn this off. And again, we're going to season this up. So a little bit of salt on the top. Chorizo can take a little bit more because it's not as salty. So we're going to come over here. There's our aioli. We plate this chorizo up here. So all the pieces on. So looks lovely, this, absolutely lovely. And basically this is it, guys. This is the 2 easiest appetizers that you'll ever do, which are crowd pleasers, which nobody is going to turn around and say, I do not like them. And there you go, there you have it. So our halloumi popcorn with our harissa aioli, our chorizo popcorn with our garlic aioli, perfect for any party, for any meal, any tapas feast. I promised you guys that I would deliver it to you later this week. We're going to do bravas as well for anybody that has requested bravas. Again, very simple. We're going to make it really nice for you. So appreciate your time. Thank you very much again for watching Casita's Virtual Kitchen. Hope you've enjoyed these. And again, if you have a go at this, please comment below, send us your pictures into our Facebook page. And if you've liked what you've seen today and you want to see more from Casita, please subscribe down the bottom of the screen and ring that bell for any notifications. Thank you very much for your time, and good night. Bye-bye.